Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside DB Rated. This is the dual commentary series where we go ahead and spectate random matches on DB's ladder and just check out what people are playing. So this is going to be a match between Dagger on Dragon Link versus Yu-Gi-Oh! 2018 on Frankit's Thunder Dragon, which should be pretty interesting. We haven't seen this deck that much before, but let's go ahead and get started without any further ado. So it looks like the Thunder deck is going to take the RPS win, and they're going to opt to start. They're playing a 47 card list, which is pretty fascinating as well. But the opening hand for them is going to be Droll, Dropsies, Chaos Space, Pandemonium, and Fusion. So this hand is looking pretty much just like a Frankit's hand. Not really able to make Chaos Space live currently, and these cards aren't going to be prevalent at the current moment. I wonder how big the Prankit's engine is. Obviously, the synergies are that Fansies is a Thunder, and you can search it off Fusion. And Fusion also lets you fuse for either Battle Butler or the Thunder Dragon Titan, of course. So there's some synergies there. In addition to the fact that the Thunder engine doesn't typically have a normal summon, or it's relatively flexible. So definitely a pretty interesting build. But the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Double Chamber, Ash, Tracer, and Wyver Burster. So Ash on the Prankit here is actually probably going to be turn ending since the rest of the cards don't actually facilitate combos. So going to go and normal summon Dropsies, and that's going to be linked away for a copy of Meow Meow. And then Dropsies will activate, and that's going to be Ash. And then they're going to set a Fusion and then pass. For turn, the top deck for Dragon is going to be Nibiru. So that is potentially useful later, not live right now. But going to normal summon Chamber and use that effect. That's going to grab a copy of the Tidying from deck to hand. And then from here, going to activate Droll on the Thunder side. So that is not bad either. At least they're probably going to survive this turn. Going to go for Striker Dragon and then special summon out the Wyver Burster by banishing the Chamber. And then go to battle phase, attack over the Meow Meow and then attack for another 1,000. And then in main phase 2, going to link those two away for a copy of Heretic Seal. And then going to pass on Tiding. So lots of disruptions and very solid follow-up. Chamber was banished to summon out Wyver Burster, but there's another one in hand anyways. So definitely good. The top deck is going to be Instant Fusion for the Thunder deck. So that can get the copy of Rocket Ride, which is not bad. I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially with the two known interruptions here. And it looks like that's just going to be it. So it's going to be a concession, and Dragon Link takes game number 1. So yeah, that opening hand was just not strong enough to combo for the Thunder player. But we're going to now move into game 2, and it looks like Thunder is going to attempt to go first again. If you guys are enjoying this video, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. But the opening hand for Thunder is going to be Ghost Ogre, Dragon Dark, Dragon Roar, Valor, and Fansies. So lots more Thunder cards this time around. It is, again, vulnerable to a hand trap on the Prankids, but there doesn't seem to be anything on the Dragon Link player's side. So this is pretty decent. I'm curious as to how this is going to play out. Also, Roxy's can banish these cards from hand. That's another synergy. And then the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Nibiru, Dragon Ravine, World Legacy Guard Dragon, Safer, and Chamber. So a very good hand trap, depending on how far the Thunder player ends up committing. And then a lot of very, very good combo cards. So going to normal summon Fansies and then link that away for a copy of the Meow Meow. And then going to trigger the copy of Fansies to send a copy of Lampsies and then summon out Roxy's. And then from here, going to link those two away into a copy of Dodo, triggering both of the Roxy's to banish the Roar, always nice. Going to draw a copy of OG Thunder Dragon, which is also quite good. And then Dodo will get a search that'll grab, after of course summoning the Dropsies from the Roxy's, and that'll grab Pandemonium. So lots of really good plays here. Roar can trigger as well, so that's going to grab Dark from deck. And then they can go into Appaloosa if they're playing it. But decides instead to go into Verte Anaconda. And then Dark is going to grab Search for Thunder Dragon Fusion, so definitely have multiple fusion spells then. Going to activate Nibiru at this point, so that's going to tribute the board. And then going to put the token under the EMZ. And then going to activate Thunder Dragon Fusion, that's going to shuffle back the Lampsies, Fansies, and Dropsies to go for the Battle Butler. And then going to activate Thunder Dragon to search for another Thunder Dragon. 2 copies, that is. And then going to pass. So there is double Regeki, which can't be cleared in battle phase at the current moment, which is good. And then there's also 2 hand traps, so definitely not bad. For turn, the top deck is going to be Rocket Synchron. So a couple of normal summons here, but also has a rocket now for Brute Sector, which isn't too bad. Gonna normal summon the Chamber. That's going to grab a search for nothing because it's going to be negated by Veiler. And then a Resolution going to activate Battle Butler. So that's going to wipe the board by banishing the Meow Meow. And then from here, going to activate Ravine. That's going to pitch Seifert. And then this is a pretty decent target to Ghost Ogre. Oops. Because you can Battle Butler or whatever other extenders. They might consider saving it for the Guard Dragon move or the LP, but I mean, I think it's too late to LP the way most Dragon League players are comboing. They're always playing around it. Yeah, I think this is a decent chance to go for it. That's going to be a pass, actually. So, yeah, definitely not willing to commit into the other Battle Butler interaction. And that's actually just going to be the end of the game. So, game 2 goes to Thunder Dragon Prankids. Very, very strong for sure, even through getting nibbed. Was able to end on 4 disruptions, which was good enough in that instance. But we're now going to move into game number 3, and it looks like Dragon Link is going to start things off. And before we get started in game 3, just want to quickly shout out my patrons as usual. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and the long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. If you are interested in, helping out with the Patreon, definitely go ahead and check that out in the description box below as usual. But in game 3 here, looks like Dragon Link's hand going first is going to be Tracer, Tidying, Levianeer, Nibiru, and Lancia. So this is not actually a great hand. It's very tame. It has a decent amount of follow-ups, but also has hand traps. So this will be a very interesting one. And then the opening hand for Thunder Prankids is going to be Droll, Thunder Dragon, Double Chaos Space, and the Ghost Ogre. It's very interesting seeing this card back in the metagame. It's not like super popular right now, but it definitely has more application than people were initially giving it credit for. And also like in VW specifically, it helps out with 2-2. You just want like Psychics to pitch. But yeah, this hand is not bad either. It has Chaos Space with OG Thunder, which is not the best pitch, but it helps at least get into some combos. So we'll see how this match turns out. Both players opening hand traps. Gonna normal summon the Rocket Tracer. That's going to actually not turn into Striker Dragon. Just gonna pass on Tidying. Fair enough. Going to go for Call by the Grave, or draw Call by the Grave rather for turn, which is not bad. Gonna drop a Lancia in the standby phase, and then going to activate Call by the Grave in response. So that's gonna negate the Lancia. They're then going to go for Thunder Dragon. That's going to pitch itself to add 2 more copies. Obviously, you have to negate Lancia because of the Chaos Space, because that's like your only play. Chaos Space is gonna pitch the Thunder Dragon to add a copy of Collapse Serpent to hand, and then from here, going to banish one of the Thunder Dragons to summon out the Collapse Serpent. And then going to Tribute Summon for Thunder Dragon, not playing like a Striker Dragon or anything, I guess. Or maybe they are, but just wants to trigger it this way. Collapse Serpent gets a trigger here. That's going to grab Wyver Burster. And then from here, you're going to banish the Collapse Serpent for the Wyver Burster. And then activate Chaos Space. It's going to put back Collapse Serpent and then draw a copy of Fansies. So if they didn't have to use their normal summon, that would have been an incredible draw. But unfortunately, that is not going to be the case here. This is still looking pretty decent, though, for the Thunder player, just because they have resources for next turn. Wyver Burst is going to attack into Tracer, going to activate Tidying in response, and then chain the Tracer on the Tidying. So that is going to bring out the Recharger from deck, and then the Tracer and the Wyver Burst will get bounced. And then in main phase 2, they're going to set a copy of Chaos Space and then pass. For turn, the top deck is going to be Router. That is a pretty decent one. That's going to help get extenders. So these hand traps are going to have to get there for sure. Going to special summon out Absolute Router Dragon because of the Recharger on board. And then going to Striker Dragon. That effect is going to grab a search for a copy of Brute Sector. And then Droll is going to be used here, which is going to be good to cut off Absolute Router, but they already have Tracer, which is known, because there was bounce off Tidying last turn. Going to go for Radic Seal. And then going to go for Brute Sector launch. They're going to actually Ghost Ogre the Boot Sector. I definitely like that because this card is really, really incredible in the grind. So cutting off that access is quite good. They haven't normal summoned yet though, so they can still go into Tracer, but this could have been the target to pop off of the Tracer to help pop off. So definitely a valuable Ogre there, I think. Because again, like you can't really Ogre LP anymore, just the way people are playing. So yeah, it's just gonna be a pass. For turn, the top deck is going to be Gold Sarcophagus, so drawing quite a few one-ofs here actually with a Call by the Grave. But that'll help get the Thunder Dragon engine further on the line, so both engines are going to be present here. They're going to start out with the Gold Sark. That's going to banish the Roar from deck and then summon out Dark. And then going to, on resolution, use Erratic Seal to bounce the Dark. And then the Graveyard effect is going to activate. That's going to grab Chamber. And then Chamber will search Tidying. So more follow-ups for next turn because of Tidying and Grave already. So that's a free extender as well. From here, they're thinking they're going to go for a copy of Fansies and then link summon a copy of Meow Meow. That's going to trigger the Fansies to send a copy of Lampsies and then summon out Roxy's from deck. And then those two are going to turn away into a copy of Dodo, which will trigger... Oh! Okay, actually thinking... Never mind. Looks like they were thinking on the summon. Okay, so looks like that's going to be fine. They're thinking about Nibiruing here. But going to go for Dodo and then trigger both the effects of Roxy's and the Dodo. So they're going to banish the Thunder Dragon Dark off the Roxy's, drawing a copy of Hawk. And then off of the Roxy's going to summon out a Dropsies. And then the Dodo is going to search for Pandemonium. And then Dark is going to grab Fusion. Just a lot of advantage here being cycled. And then from here, they're going to activate Chaos Space, pitch Wyverburst to add Collapse Serpent. And then they're going to banish the Wyverburst to summon it out. And then Chaos Space. Oh, looks like they were going to Nibiru on summon. So Nibiru going to tribute the board. That's going to... oh, maybe there's a misunderstanding. Yeah, they thought that Dagger was chaining to Chaos Space, but they were doing it on resolution of the Collapse Serpent summon, which obviously makes sense because you don't want them to get a free value. So the board gets tributed, token gets summoned, and then still get the draw off of the Chaos Space, which I believe was the Nibiru there. There still is a fair amount of recovery here from Thunder. They have Hawk and Fusion, so that's definitely not bad. Fusion going to be used. That's going to shuffle back the 3 Prankids to bring out a copy of Battle Butler. Looking pretty reminiscent of Game 2, actually. And then they're going to, from here, just pass. For turn, the top deck is going to be Chaos Space. That is a pretty good one for sure. Definitely a good one. Going to special summon out the Chaos Dragon Levianeer by banishing Lights and Darks. So that is going to force the issue right now. Battle Butler going to be chained. That's going to banish a Meow Meow. And then that's going to wipe the board. And then a resolution, Levianeer is going to pop both of them. And Battle Butler does trigger here. So they opted not to tribute itself because this, of course, floats. It's just basically a monster reborn except for fusion monsters. So they're going to bring out the Dodo off of that. They also could have summoned out Ghost Ogre if they wanted to have like another interruption. But this also can work to get back into the Prankids engine since Rox is in graveyard. If this does indeed survive. But looks like they're going to be thinking here. Going to go for Tidying. That's going to summon out the Chamber. And then going to normal summon Rocket Tracer. That's going to allow those to turn into a copy of Chaos Ruler. So Chaos Ruler is going to excavate 5 and hit pretty good targets. Going to pick Wyverburster. And Rocket Synchron gets milled as well. Chaos Space going to pitch Wyverburster to add Collapse Serpent. And then from here, going to banish the Collapse Serpent. Or sorry, the Wyverburster to summon out Collapse Serpent. And then Chaos Space going to be used. Going to be thinking... Oh, they're actually thinking about dropping Nibiru here. Both players going to Nibiru at pretty much the point of Collapse Serpent hitting the board with Chaos Space and Grave, which is pretty funny. But yeah, Nibiru is going to get dropped. So yeah, that was 5 summons because it was Levianeer 1, Chamber 2, Tracer 3, Chaos Ruler 4, and then Collapse Serpent 5. So the board gets tributed, and then going to go for Chaos Space, put him at Striker Dragon. That's going to draw Gamma. Very, very dead draw right now. Could be alive if the token gets cleared before plays happen, but that's unlikely. They could go for, I guess, Chaos Ruler and then sit on Tidying, but it's not looking too good for Dragons because there's Follow-Up for Fusion, and then there's also Hawk as well. So gonna set Tidying and pass. Actually, not even opting to bring back the Chaos Ruler. So if turn the top deck's gonna be Fancy, so that actually opens up windows for Fusion because that would have been the Pranked search target if they were opting for it. So now lots of options for sure. They're gonna banish Thunder Dragon Fusion. That's gonna grab a search for Roar, and then they're going to pitch Roar to add back Fusion. This was the famous loop. Is that these always, as long as you have these in rotation, you're always able to recycle them this way. Because this shuffles back Roar, you search Roar off of this, and then Roar adds back the Fusion. And then Fusion going to be used. That's going to shuffle back Roller, Thunder Dragon, and Thunder Dragon. That's going to bring out the Thunder Dragon Titan. First time this card's actually being used this match. But from here, they're going to go for a copy of the Thunder Dragon Hawk. And then they're going to chain the Titan. So that is going to pop the token. You definitely don't want to pop the back row because it is the Titan because Chamber searched it earlier. So if you pop this, it can like bring back the Chamber to block. And also there's Gamma in hand, but obviously that's unknown. Normal summon Fansies and then go into a copy of the Meow Meow. And then no effect to Fansies and then going to go straight into battle phase. And this is 62, 78, 80, 100 damage. So this is game. So barring any unforeseen circumstances, yep, that is going to be a concession from Dragonlink. And Thunder Prank Kids actually taking this match 2-1. Very fascinating. This deck is a pretty cool concept. We haven't really seen these engines intertwined that much, even though there's a fair amount of synergies. For sure, we got to see like Roxy's getting value a couple times, banishing Roar, banishing Dark. We got to see the interactions of Fusion being able to be flexed into either Butler or the Titan. We got to see a fair amount of things, and that's pretty cool to see. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with the links in the description below as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.